that you pair up with a partner, and one of you will be on the table. The person on the table is called the body. And the person standing is called the healer. So you, the body, when you're the body, your job is to sleep, rest, do nothing, snore if you want to.
Snore to
I
snore.
volunteer for that position.
All right.
There you go.
You, the feeler,
Take
will
it back
start
to kindergarten.
sensitizing your hands like this. Let's do this together. Pretend that you're building a ball of energy between your hands. And you may start feeling a sense of tingling, pressure, coolness, warmth. Feels like there's something there. Maybe a thickness. Huh? You can expand this ball and compress it, play with it. This is a great way of sensitizing your hands and developing your perceptions. So play with this. And you can even toss the energy ball to somebody else. Here, Lori, catch.
I think I tried that.
Thank
Can't
you.
hold two of them at the same time. There you go.
There you
Just
go.
back.
Okay. So you can really be playful with this idea. Now, I want you just to watch me now. Okay, just watch. Don't do this. Just watch me. Once you feel the ball of energy between your hands, bring your hands way up in the air. Don't do it right there. Just watch me. Above the chest. You want to be above the person's chest, and start coming down slowly until you feel the same sensation you had between your hands above his or her chest. And once you feel that, you found the edge of the aura. That's the edge of the aura, what we call the physical aura. So now let me give you some guidelines. The higher the edge of the aura from the physical body, the higher the general physical vitality of your client. The closer it is to the body, the lower the general physical vitality of the client. This is about 99.999% accurate. So within 30 seconds, you can assess your client's vitality. Okay, what do you do with this information? Well, one thing that your client is going to ask you is, how often should I come in for Reiki treatments? How long should my treatments be? And this is a great tool, because if you find that your client's vitality is in the low range, low means that is within 10 inches of the physical body, like this, then you can suspect that his or her vitality is on the low side, and he or she would benefit from longer and more frequent Reiki sessions, maybe daily sessions of about an hour and a half or 2 hours until the vitality improves. However, if you find that the vitality is way up here in the good range, and the good range is between 15 to about 24 inches above the body, this is the good range, okay? Then you can suspect that even if your client has a chronic condition, his or her vitality is in a good range, and that they're able to hang on to the benefits of the Reiki treatment longer. Okay, the more energy that we have available, the longer that we can hang on to the effects of the Reiki treatment. And they may be okay with 1 or 2 sessions a week. It all depends on other circumstances. But this is a great guideline, because it's so easy to learn to do, and so fast. It's something that doesn't take more than 30 seconds at the most. Then you can get a good idea.
Is vitality like vitality of the person's lifespan or energy span? Or what
Energy at
is
the
it?
point. Okay, let me explain this. Your aura, okay, we have an energy field around us, an electromagnetic field that we also call the aura. And it's like a balloon. It's full of energy. So your aura is a container for energy. In fact, the word aura comes from the Greek abra, which means container of energy, vessel for energy. That's what the aura is. And it's like a balloon that it expands and contracts depending on how much energy there is available. Just like you would put air in a balloon or water in a balloon, the more water or air, the more that it expands, right? The same thing with the aura. So our aura contains our energy. And it can, by assessing its dimension, you can pretty much tell how much energy the person has available at that point in time. So it doesn't tell you about lifespan, it tells you about what's happening in the moment. So let's say that you have a very healthy, strong person who just climbed up 100 floors to the top of, what was the name of that building?
Mellon Financial
Financial
Center.
Center.
All the way to the top. I bet that after that person climbed all the way to the top, the vitality, the energy level was a little bit lower because that person was tired, right? So, for example, if you run a marathon, even if you're a very athletic person, very strong person, at the end of the race, you're going to be tired and your vitality will be low. And then you'll eat some food, drink some fluids, get some sleep, and the next day or two you'll bounce back to normal. Okay? So this is not static. The energy varies according to the situation, and it varies all the time. So every time that you work on your client, whether it's a human client or an animal client, even a plant, you want to assess its vitality. Because if you have, if you've been assessing that person's vitality and it's been in a good range, let's say you've been working with that person for a month and it's been in a good range, all of a sudden it drops down, then you know that something is up. You know, something is causing the vitality to drop. Maybe that person is tired, didn't get enough sleep, maybe he's coming or she's coming down with a cold, something is up. So this test doesn't tell you about pathology, okay? You can have a serious illness and still have good vitality. It tells you about how much energy you have available at any point in time. And that's very important for us to know as Reiki practitioners.
I assume emotional states would affect vitality hugely.
Hugely. You can become emotionally exhausted over a situation. So absolutely, yes.
So then what you're looking for by taking somebody who would have a low vitality and then having them do longer sessions more frequently, so overall what you're looking for is more vitality, which is more energy that the
Exactly.
person
You want to
has
help to
available.
fill up that balloon again. And that's what we're working with energy. So the idea is to fill up the cells with energy. And that tells you right away if the vitality is low. When you start the session, if you can't find the edge of the aura until you're down here, you know that this person's vitality is low and that he or she would benefit from having a longer session. So instead of doing a 45-minute session, it would be more helpful to do an hour and a half. It all depends on the situation and how much time you and your client have available. A little bit of Reiki is a lot better than no Reiki. So even if you have 20 minutes and that's all you can spare, do it. I saw a hand back there.
How does filling up cells, energy, how does that heal? How does that make that, heal things?
Reiki works with the body's, that's a great question. Reiki works with the body's natural ability to heal. Okay? There was a study done, oh gosh, I can't tell you, I can't date this for you, but I think I have the book on that side. In one of the bookcases, it's a book about the coenzyme Q10. Are you familiar with the coenzyme Q10? It works with cellular respiration, and it's very important. The production of energy in the body is great for the heart. And scientists studied the coenzyme Q10 and wrote that if I can give you a very simplistic version of the cell. Let me give you a very simplistic version of the cell. And if you can think of the cell as a battery, okay? The scientists said that when this battery is energized to capacity, 100%, there's a state of health in the body. the body's healthy, perfectly healthy. If it drops down to 75, some sort of disease process is going on. If it drops down to 25% of its energy capacity, the cell cannot sustain life. Reiki fills the cells with energy. As it fills the cells with energy, you're going to have a perception of energy flow. There's so much energy that the cell can take at any one time, so you're going to feel it rise and drop, rise and drop, rise and drop. And I'm going to teach you how. You're going to start paying attention to the perceptions.
Is there a max in how much energy one can obtain? So it goes actually
You
over 100%?
can keep on giving. You cannot overload the cells with energy because they control how much energy they want to take in. That's why there are no contraindications in Reiki. You can never hurt a person with Reiki because we're not putting the energy in the body. We're not actively placing energy in the body. We're stepping back and acting as passive channels so that the cells that come in contact with our hands actually control the level of flow. That's why it's always safe. Even in cases of organ transplants, it's always safe because the cells will only take what they need. And what if they don't want it, they won't take it.
I have a question though. Say for instance there's a tumor in someone's body. Would you possibly be giving energy to the tumor?
Because tumors derive their energy through fermentation. And Reiki works with cellular respiration. So what Reiki does is to bring more oxygen into the area. And tumors, malignancies, and bacteria, harmful bacteria, have a more difficult time surviving in a highly oxygenated environment. And at the same time, Reiki is received by the immune system, so the immune system gets up and fights.
I just want to comment on that as a hospice and palliative care nurse who has had the opportunity to see Reiki performed on someone with cancer. It actually, I was able to give her a lot less morphine.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And Reiki alleviates pain. So you can, with doctor's permission, you can cut back on pain meds. Thank you. Okay. So this is a very good tool to have because it's telling you from the very beginning of the session how long the session should be, the frequency of the session, and you can use it as a guide throughout the session. I want to tell you one quick story, and then we're going to I'm going to show you how to scan the chakras, but I think that you'll enjoy this. Years ago, I was asked to work on a man who had hepatitis C, and he was a candidate for a liver transplant. I went to his home with a friend. We took one of the bodywork tables and knocked on his door, and he could hardly open the door. He was sleeping on a mattress in the living room. And we got him onto the bodywork table and checked for his general physical vitality, and it was about this high of the body. So I knew right away that his body needed a lot of energy, and I knew that I couldn't be there every day to give him a treatment. So I asked him if he wanted to learn and told him that he could work on himself effectively no matter what his state of health. And he said, yes, I want to learn. So I trained him. And I taught him how to place his hands on his body, and I said, go to sleep. You can stay in a position for hours at a time. Next time you wake up, just go to a new position and go back to sleep and stay there as long as you want to. Well, he did this around the clock. The following week I went over, and this time he was able to open the door. He had a little smile. His vitality was better. He kept doing Reiki. I came back the following week. This time he made my lunch. He got on the table himself, and his vitality kept improving. And every week it kept improving. He was taking walks around the block. He was working part-time, and a few months later he went over to have some tests done, and his doctor told him that it was the first time he had seen a test for hepatitis C that had been positive come back negative. So his body always had the ability to heal, it just did not have the energy. All right, so let's continue with this. When you check for general physical vitality, check right over the heart area, because this is the highest point in the aura when the person is lying down supine. Don't waste time trying to come down the body, because the aura is egg-shaped and you're going to get a different reading. You're just going to follow the shape of the egg. Don't worry about that. Just do it right over the heart chakra, because if you get used to finding the height of the aura over the same place every time, then it'll be easy for you to tell when it changes, when it goes up or down, okay? So once you find the edge of the aura, we're going to do that in about 5 more minutes, then I want you, as you find the edge of the aura, I want you to notice which hand is more sensitive. And it could be your non-dominant hand. Don't be surprised if it's your non-dominant hand. Just notice which one it is. If they both feel equal, then drop one hand. Just pick one hand randomly, okay? And when you drop your hand, we'll know that you've selected your hand, your scanning hand for the weekend. We scan with one hand at a time. And we want to train one hand this weekend. So by the time the weekend is over, your hand will be more sensitive and you'll start picking up stuff. But Monday, if you practice, then practice with your other hand. And Tuesday, go back to the original hand. And each time you practice, switch hands so that you train both hands equally. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, so when you select your hand in a little while, please stick with that hand for scanning. When you're doing Reiki, of course, you'll work with both hands. But for scanning, just the one hand, okay? Okay. Now, once we see that you've made your selection, then we're going to say, now run your hand back and forth over the crown chakra. And you're going to just make the motion, and this is the motion that you'll make. It's a rocking motion. And see how I'm passing all the way through the head to the other side and back. Back and forth. Just like this. Don't worry about feeling anything yet. I want you to get used to the motion. Hand can be relaxed and open. Fingers together when we're doing Reiki, but when we're doing scanning, the hand can be open. And then I'll say, okay, very good. Now let's move down to the brow chakra, center of the forehead between the eyes, and you'll repeat the process. Coming all the way through and all the way back. All the way. And then I'll say, okay, great. Let's move down to the throat chakra. The throat chakra is just below the Adam's apple. And you'll repeat the process here. And what you're feeling for, okay, and this will be probably the first place that you'll feel a chakra. You're feeling for a vortex of energy about 1.5 inches in diameter. And it feels more alive. It feels more active, perhaps a little bit warmer. Some people get a little bit of a throb. It feels more magnetic, okay? And a great way to locate its center is to take 2 fingers, just take 2 fingers and come in perpendicular to the chakra, okay? And you're going to have the magnetic attraction and repulsion that you would feel over a magnet. Did you ever play with magnets when you were a child? You know how it feels to the attraction and repulsion of a magnet? Okay, so a chakra feels just like that. And right here, this is David's throat chakra. So I am right on it, and it's connecting itself to the energy coming out of my fingertips. Watch. Here it is. and you can feel it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and move it to one side and move it to the other. Can you feel that, David? And it feels as if you're touching, as if your body's being touched. And it's so interesting to find it. So if you're curious, do this and it will help you locate the chakra. And now that you know where it is, just pass through it and get a general feeling. Don't worry yet about assessing which chakra is stronger. That's going to come later. Right now, all I really want you to do is get used to the location of the chakras and the motion. If you feel something, fantastic. If you don't feel anything, that's okay. You will later. All right. Now I'm going to come to the next chakra, and it's the heart chakra, center of the chest between the breasts. Moving through the chakras, all the way through and out. Good. And now I'm coming down to the solar plexus chakra. The solar plexus chakra is right at the center of the V between the ribs. So I'm going to use my fingers to locate it. And here it is. And I'll pass through and back. Okay, the next chakra is the lower abdominal chakra. And what you'll want to do is ask your partner to point to his or her belly button. That's a technical word for navel, you know. And you want to be about 1.5 inches below the navel. And there it is. That's a strong one, David. Very strong. Okay. The next chakra is the root chakra, and it comes in at a 45-degree angle into the perineum. That's the area between the genitals and the anus. So let's go ahead and find it. And here it is, right here. Now you may have noticed that I have been moving across each chakra. I don't want to go up and down the chakras, because the idea behind this exercise is to isolate one chakra at a time and assess it for strength. And that's what we'll be doing later after you learn the technique a little bit more, okay? If I go down the body, I'll run into more than one chakra at a time, and it'll make it very difficult to isolate its strength. So you want to get it into the habit of running across the chakra, across the body, instead of up and down. The other thing that I'm doing is I am keeping my hand in constant motion. And the reason for that is that if I leave the hand right over the chakra, it's happening already. Within a few seconds, the chakra will recognize that there's Reiki energy available, and it will start suctioning it. So what you'll feel is the chakra taking the Reiki in instead of the chakra strength itself. John used to say, you have to sneak up on the chakra, and he was right. So keep your hand moving. And you want to be about this high of the body. Just about this high. All right. So these are your 7 principal chakras. We start with the 7th chakra, which is the, who remembers? Crown. 6th chakra is? 5th? 4th? 3rd? 2nd? Sacral or lower abdominal, and the 1st chakra. Root. Perfect. Good. Good job, everybody. Okay. Now in this class, you're going to learn about 2 sets of sub-chakras, the knees and the feet. To assess the knee sub-chakra, find the kneecap and bring your hand up and rotate your hand over the knee. You can go up and down, side to side, or rotate. The knee sub-chakra is about 1/2 inch in diameter, but it's very easy to locate, so don't worry about size. Feel one knee, and then locate the other knee and feel the other. So you're feeling for the sub-chakras over the knees. These sub-chakras don't have that much to do with bringing energy into the body, with supplementing the body with additional energy. They have to do with the brain. They have to do with brain dominance. And tomorrow I'm going to tell you all about them, and you'll be able to assess whether your client is more left brain or right brain dominant based on the knees of chakras. The foot subchakra is also small, half an inch in diameter, and it's right below the arch. Okay, so you can scan 1 foot at a time from the side, just like I'm doing, keeping the hand in motion, then come to the other side and repeat the process, or come to the end of the table and scan from here. If your client happens to have his or her feet very close together and you can't really tell which chakra is which, ask for the feet to be moved apart, and then you can isolate the chakra. Don't be afraid to move about the table. As you're practicing, I want you to start, moving right along and move about the table, okay, 1 foot at a time. So again, to recap, what we're going to do is first sensitize the hands and check for general physical vitality. Select your scanning hand, and then we'll guide you, David and I will guide you through each of the chakras: crown, brow, throat, heart, solar plexus, lower abdominal, root. Check one knee, check the other. You can compare them to each other, see which one is more dominant. And the same with the feet. Check one foot and the other foot. By the way, the foot subchakra has to do with our walk through life. The feet are very symbolic of our spiritual path, our spiritual walk. And I'll tell you about that tomorrow as well. And once you finish, we'll say, okay, let's move the energy over the top. And notice that I'm taking the energy, I'm riding with the top layer of the aura. I'm following the egg, the shape of the egg. Coming up, I'm actually a little bit above the egg, into the feet, and then I move my hands out of the way because I don't want to brush the energy backwards. So into the feet, and repeat 3 to 5 times. And once you feel a ball of energy between your hands, raise your hands so that you're right over the chest. And come down slowly until you feel the same sensation you had between your hands over the chest. Let's do that now, and David and I will come around and check you. Yes, you're right on there. That's perfect. Thanks. Okay, Key. A little higher. Here she is. Here she is. You want to find the very, very first. There, you got it. Okay, so start selecting your hand. Yeah. Wow. It's very high. Yeah, just way high. Great energy in there. Okay, select your hand. Okay, Mary. Let's see. Here, come on up with me. Yes. And notice where it first starts to get warm. Yeah, right over here. Perfect. Yeah, nice. see. So select your hand. If I've checked your table, please select your hand. Ooh, wonderful. Right here. Good. Okay, let's see where you are. Oh, come on up higher. It's higher. Yeah. Come on up. There you go. There, that's it. Select your hand. Great. Select your hand. Okay, you guys are doing good. All right. Everybody selected their hand? Okay, very good. Let's run the hand back and forth over the crown chakra. Remember the rocking motion? All the way back and forth. All the way. And just rock. Don't worry about feeling anything yet. That's great, Barry.
Lawrence, you can check mine.
You got it. Perfect, Sean. That's perfect. That's great, Paula. Okay, looking good. Pass all the way through. Like that, good. Like you were sitting in a rocking chair, rocking. There you go. Okay, V, looking good. Very nice. Okay, let's move on to the brow chakra and repeat the process. Want to be about 3 inches above the forehead. That's it. Looking good. All the way through and back. And now for the throat chakra. If you want to, use the 2 fingers, and come right over the center of the chakra and feel the magnetic pull. Try that if you want to. Find a little magnet. Okay, and go back to feeling the throat chakra, swinging your hand all the way through the body and out and back. All right. Nice. Let's go for the heart chakra. So the heart chakra is right at the center of the chest, between the breasts. And now for the solar plexus chakra, right at the center of the V between the ribs. So that's the belly button, and here is the top of the V, upside down V. So it's going to be right around here where your finger is. See if you can locate it with your fingertips. A little bit of a magnetic pull. Come on up a little higher. Come on. If you come like this, you feel it. Very subtle, but it's there. You feel it? Good. That's where it is. And now pass through it. And you wanna get just a general feeling. Good, just a general feeling. Okay. Okay, now let's find the lower abdominal chakra. Have your partner point to his or her belly button. Let's do that now. This chakra is very easy to locate. It's about 1.5 inches below the belly button. And now for the root chakra, let's turn the hand, let's locate the chakra. Why don't you use the 2-finger method to see if you can locate the chakra? And you want to come over here. Here it is. Right here. So come on down. And it's right there. And then turn your hand 45 degrees like this and pass through it. Good, Michelle. All the way through and back. Let's see. Here it is for her, right here. And here it is. And now you want to pass through all the way. Good. Yes. Yes. Jimmy, doing good? Good. All right. Yeah, good. Here we go. Yeah, good. And B, doing good. Okay, good. Very good. Okay, very nice. Let's go down to the knees. One knee at a time. Find the kneecap. And then rotate your hand over the kneecap. Okay, now go to the other kneecap. And rotate your hand over the other kneecap. And what you're looking for is which knee feels more energy. Is there more energy over one knee than the other? Right now, I just want you to go through the motion. Don't worry about feeling much right now. And now let's go down to the feet and find the arch of one of the feet, and you want to swing your hand right under that arch and feel for what that's like.